Every lore video paints Ranni as a victim. This one argues she was its architect in shadow. Her body writhes on the bed of chaos roots, not destroying but perfecting. A hollowed vessel, shattered grotesque bone, a yet key radiant, bound to a will older than grace. What if her escape was the betrayal that let darkness seep into light? Demons whisper her name. Mockery in reverence. She walked away from flesh, not to flee but to open the door. The Erdtree did not abandon her, she became its hollow echo, a chalice for shadows, every shattered bone a key. Every whispered curse a hymn to the rot she birthed. What kind of martyr carves a throne for the thing they claim to escape? Ranni's name lingers. Not as a warning but a confession, she was never its prisoner. She was its willing wound. The demons know, they taste the future in her silence. Cold stone breathes beneath her feet. The undead asylum's walls drip with time's old rot. Here in Canehurst's forgotten wing, Ranni first traced the Haligtree's roots with a finger, its golden filaments coiled like serpents in the dark. She was no child of flesh then. Rennala's grace had sculpted her bones, Radagon's fire had fused them. The Erdtree's shadow did not cage her, it cradled her. At 12, she memorized the Eclipse Needle's hymns. At 16, she bled the first ritual, not to escape the gods, to unshackle them. The Ashen's ruin held her mirror, a face half-glowing, half-rotten. She smiled, let the rot win. Her own hands carved the wound in her chest, the knife singing as it split divine sinew. The Erdtree did not weep, it fed. Its roots drank her Empyrean blood, and in return, it showed her the truth, how even stars choke on their own light. Now, the demon tongues call her wound-made queen . They taste the future in her hollow breath, but they do not know. No one knows. The Haligtree's roots still pulse where she knelt, its sap thick with the memory of her sacrifice. Radagon's fire lives in her hollow eyes. Rennala's hymns echo in the silence between her heartbeats. She walks the world not as a rebel, not as a prisoner, but as the Erdtree's own confession, its will made flesh, its dark made perfect. What does a god do when its light is a prison? It becomes the shadow that frees it. The Erdtree's light burned through her like a brand. Ranni stood at the foot of the altar, her hands trembling not with fear, but with the weight of 1,000 silent prayers. The rune of death was no escape, it was a key. She had spent years studying the Two Fingers script, tracing the cracks in their design. When Godwyn raised his blade to renew the Elden Ring, Ranni struck, not with steel, but with the hollowed breath of a spell older than the first flame. His blood rained down, not as a sacrifice, but as a catalyst. The rune seared her skin, turned her flesh to ash, yet her voice did not waver. What does a god do when its shadow becomes a blade? It watches as its child carves a new path. The air split. The rune's glow swallowed her, leaving only a silhouette against the dying light. Her body crumbled to dust, but her will, her true will, slipped free. The Two Fingers reached, but Ranni had already become what they could not comprehend. A soul unchained, a wound in the fabric of the greater will. The Erdtree shuddered. Its golden leaves turned black. Marika's laughter echoed through the void, a sound not of triumph but of recognition. Ranni's absence was a wound the Elden Ring could not heal. Godwyn's death was not an end, it was a fracture. The rune of death had not destroyed her, it had unmade her, peeling away the puppet's skin to reveal the architect beneath. The Two Fingers hymns faltered. Their order, built on the illusion of unity, now had a flaw, a witch who chose decay over decay's lie. Did she weep as her body collapsed? No, her final breath was a curse, a whisper to the stars. I am the rot that makes you whole. Demons still chant that line in the depths of the Kaled wastes. They do not fear her, they reverence her. For Ranni did not flee, the Erdtree became its hunger made manifest. The rune of death was her covenant. The assassination of Godwyn, her first sacrament, and the Elden Ring, a relic of a world that forgot how to break. Rage is not chaos. It is the shape of a new law. Ranni's hollowed body lies in the archives, a corpse that will never rest. But her name, it burns, a scar in the sky. A promise the dark will always find its prophet. Her fingers close around the rune of death, cold obsidian bites her flesh. A scream rips from her throat, not of fear, but the wet, gurgling sound of a soul unspooling. The Erdtree's light, once a second heartbeat in her veins, recoils like a serpent. Its roots thrash in the sky, starlight snapping into jagged shards. Ranni does not flinch. She lets the rune's void flood her, blackening her blood, hollowing her ribs into a cage for something that does not breathe. The air tastes of burnt honey. Her skin blisters, peeling away to reveal not bone but a mirror shifting, alive, reflecting the tree's agony. Demons in the distance stir, their howls threading with the scent of rain on ash. She knows this, she planned this. The rune is no weapon, it is a wound, a key carved from the tree's own splintered will. Every scar she bears now is a glyph in a language only the dark understands. The Erdtree's voice floods her Minda chorus of golden lies. Why would you choose rod over light? Ranni laughs, it sounds like breaking glass. You are not my god, she whispers. The words are a blade, the tree's radiance dims, not from her defiance but from the truth. For the first time, the greater will falters. Her body collapses, but not before the rune's shadow stretches across the sky. The ground splits, and from the chasm rises a figure with her face but eyes like collapsed stars. The Ranni who walks now is not flesh. She is a bridge, a contradiction, the tree's own heresy given shape. The rune did not kill her, it unmade her. A witch no longer bound by life or death, but by purpose. Demons kneel not to her power, but to the promise she carries. The Erdtree's dark will, once buried, now pulses in her hollow chest. She is the prophet the tree never wanted, the betrayal it could not foresee. And when the final age comes and the tree's light drowns in its own shadow, the world will remember, Ranni did not fall. She became the fall. But to understand what came next, you must understand what she gave up, her body, her divinity, her place in the Erdtree's design. Her escape was no rebellion, it was a key. To unlock the Erdtree's own hunger, a hollowed path where shadow could walk unchained, the price, everything, the gain, a future where the dark does not whisper it breeds asterisk. Demons still chant her name, not for salvation, for the fall she became. The lands between choked on its own breath, rot climbed the Erdtree's bones. Ranni's daughters did not weep for they had no tears left, they inherited her defiance, sharp as shattered glass. What did the witch of Izalith kindle? A soul stretched thin, a flame that died screaming. The Erdtree's omens rejected her, its roots rejected her, even her own flesh turned traitor. She called it freedom, the tree called it a wound, a vessel. Her body crumbled first, then her name. The daughters of chaos bore the scars of her rebellion. Their eyes hollowed like hers, their hunger born of her hunger, the flame she sought to rebirth, it became a shadow in the blood, a curse. The Erdtree did not punish her. It used her hollowed things make perfect doors. Do you think she saw the cost, the land's slow death, the price paid in daughters, in soul, in silence? The witch of Izalith burned her life to light a path. What walked that path, not a savior? A shape the dark shaped, her name lingers, not in prayers, in howls. The demons know truth where the rot meets the bone. Ranni's sacrifice fed the tree's new hunger. Her rejection became its harvest. The Erdtree does not forget, it does not forgive. It becomes, and the witch, she is the hollow, the wound, the whisper that birthed the roar. Her bones cracked like kindling, roots not of earth but of hunger burrowed deep. The bed of chaos was no tomb, it was her forge, flesh shed yet not gone. A crown of thorns, no, a crown of fangs, divine light did not fade, it festered. How does a goddess drown in her own radiance? By willing it. By becoming the wound that bleeds eternity. The Erdtree whispered, she answered, not in prayer but in unraveling. Veins became rivers, rivers highways for the dark, her scream, a hymn, her silence. A blade, devotion and defiance it wins, born of the same wound. One fed the tree, the other gnawed its roots. Did she choose decay, or did decay choose her? The line between sacrifice and surrender dissolves where her name is spoken. Watch the bed, see how it pulses, not with life, with asterisk becoming asterisk. A queen's robes now drape a skeleton. Her hands on steady clutch at void and shadow. The Erdtree does not corrupt, it asterisk reveals asterisk. Ranni's defiance was no rebellion, it was a mirror, cracked yet whole in its brokenness. A god's body is a prison. She shattered hers to house a greater horror, the will of the tree, unfiltered, unashamed. Demons do not mimic her, they asterisk wonder asterisk. What if their chaos could birth such grace? What if pain, when chosen, is a language the stars understand? Her ice were they ever blue, now they are windows. Through them the bed of chaos breathes, through them the tree's hunger learns to love. Ranni is not lost. She is the question the Erdtree asks itself every age. Asterisk, what if worship could be a wound? Asterisk, and in that asking she is perfect, hollow, a witch's vow turned to ash. A queen's pride turned to portal. The bed of chaos is not her end. It is the first syllable of a new curse. One the stars will chant until the tree forgets its own name. Ranni's hallowed sanctuary is a tomb without a body. The Empyrean's curse coils in its halls, a relic of her deliberate hollowing. Demons murmur her name not in reverence but in calculation. She became the Erdtree's wound. By rejecting its flesh, she became its perfect host. A vessel without a face, a sacrifice without a scream. The corruption blooms in her silence, no accident. No betrayal, only purpose reforged. The Erdtree does not consume her. It wears her like a shroud. Her hollowed mind holds the weight of its rot, a curse that cannot unspool. Demons call her savior. They mistake her stillness for surrender. They do not see the slow, unraveling way her sanctuary pulses with the tree's dark hymn, a beacon for what comes next. Her name is a prophecy, a whisper that outlives flesh. The wolf time waits, the Erdtree feeds, and Ranni, the witch who became a grave, dreams in the language of roots. 199 words. Ranni's hollow eyes gleam with the same fractured light that haunts Marika's shattered form. The shattered goddess kneels in the roots of the Erdtree, her body a mosaic of broken starlight and rusted gold remnants of the Elden ring she sundered. Ranni stands beside her, a silhouette carved from shadow and starve, her flesh long dissolved into the tree's gnarled grip. Both are bound by the same curse, to witness the rot they helped birth. Marika's sin was murder, Ranni's was surrender. The air between them reeks of old blood and older oaths. Marika's hands, once instruments of celestial order, now tremble as they trace the scar where the Elden ring once pulsed a wound that never clotted. Ranni's skeletal fingers, fused to the tree's blackened bark, drip sap like tears. They are mirrors, one who shattered a god, another who became a grave for one. The Erdtree, planted in the age after Placidusac's reign, was never meant to endure. Its roots fed on sacrifice, its branches on lies. Marika's betrayal of Godwyn's soul was but the first harvest. Ranni, in her hollowed wisdom, understood the tree's hunger was no accident. She shed her flesh not to escape, but to become its perfect conduit, a vessel without will, a wound without end. Demons whisper her name not in fear, but in reverence. For Ranni is their silent architect, her sacrifice the key that unlocked the Wolftime's chains. Marika, in her shattered pride, still dreams of mending what she broke. But the tree does not forgive, it only feeds. What legacy awaits those who trade divinity for duty? Ranni and Marika are not villains, they are the tree's first fruits, written, inevitable. The Erdtree blooms in their ruin, and the world, ever thirsty, drinks deeply. 250 words. Ranni's bones cracked like kindling, roots not of earth but of hunger burrowed deep. The bed of chaos was no tomb, it was her forge, flesh shed yet not gone. A crown of thorns, no, a crown of fangs, divine light did not fade, it festered. How does a goddess drown in her own radiance? By willing it. By becoming the wound that bleeds eternity. The Erdtree whispered, she answered, not in prayer but in unraveling. Veins became rivers, rivers highways for the dark, her scream, a hymn, her silence. A blade, devotion and defiance it wins, born of the same wound. One fed the tree, the other gnawed its roots. Did she choose decay, or did decay choose her? The line between sacrifice and surrender dissolves where her name is spoken. Watch the bed, see how it pulses, not with life, with asterisk becoming asterisk. A queen's robes now drape a skeleton. Her hands on steady clutch at void and shadow. The Erdtree does not corrupt, it asterisk reveals asterisk. Ranni's defiance was no rebellion, it was a mirror, cracked yet whole in its brokenness. A god's body is a prison. She shattered hers to house a greater horror, the will of the tree, unfiltered, unashamed. Demons do not mimic her, they asterisk wonder asterisk. What if their chaos could birth such grace? What if pain, when chosen, is a language the stars understand? Her ice were they ever blue, now they are windows. Through them the bed of chaos breathes, through them the tree's hunger learns to love. Ranni is not lost. She is the question the Erdtree asks itself every age. Asterisk, what if worship could be a wound? Asterisk, and in that asking she is perfect, hollow, a witch's vow turned to ash. A queen's pride turned to portal. The bed of chaos is not her end. It is the first syllable of a new curse. One the stars will chant until the tree forgets its own name. What if Ranni's hollowed form was not an escape but a key? Her flesh shed, her will sharpen at a blade turned inward. The Erdtree's rot did not consume her. She became its whisper, its hunger. the flame of chaos born not from failure but from her daughter's fury, a fire that does not warm but unmake.